Gary, post-match on Tuesday, you actually, for the first time, sounded a bit low. Was that because you sensed that the struggle is becoming more and more difficult?
Well, of course, every game you lose at this stage, the struggle is going to become more difficult. But no, I'm like everyone else. I'm very disappointed when we've lost a very important game. And unfortunately, with me, I'm not a good actor, so I am how I feel. And that's how I felt at the time. I was disappointed that we'd made poor mistakes for the goals. We scored 2 goals away from home and let in 3, and that really disappointed me. And there was things that we'd worked on that didn't quite come to fruition that should have done or might have done. We got a real good group of lads that are fighting above their weight. Our club's fighting above its weight, we know that. And we come up against a team like Charlton, who are also in trouble themselves. And I just felt, we had every opportunity to go there and win the game. And I felt that circumstances and the situation and there was a couple of things that happened at the end of the game as well that I wasn't happy with. That's another thing now. That was with the officials actually. As far as that was concerned, I was a bit disappointed that there was not a couple of free kicks that were given to us, sort of thing. But right at the end, when we could have stuck the ball in the box as a final thing, so I was a bit disappointed about that as well. And so hence why I wasn't the belle of the ball, I'm afraid. So,
as the motivator of the players, are you energised since Tuesday now?
Well, I don't know about energised. That says that you're full of energy and the joys of spring all of a sudden, 24 hours later. But I will be. Come the team, we worked hard today. We showed them a review of the game and where we thought we could have done better. They all agreed, as they always do. They're only human, if you like. They saw that they was well in the game, and they saw that if you score 2 goals away at Charlton, you should be winning the game, when they haven't scored many goals all season. So they was as disappointed as I am. I can't go in there, do a few tricks, roll over like a clown, and them all laugh. That's not the atmosphere when you've lost. It was last week. Because of the Blackpool game, but we get so close, and because we were so close, we were all very disappointed. So, but we've got a cup final, haven't we, coming up? It's our local rivals. They've got to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. We've got to win because any win now puts you in a half decent position going into the remaining games of the season. So we've got to be up for it, and they're going to be fighting, so we've got to be fighting as well, and we've got to make it a real battling game and a real competitive game.
You surprised Bournemouth where they are?
No, I think they're a very good side. They've got some good players that everybody knows are good players. They've done well in obtaining the team that they've obtained. They've had to pay money for them, salaries and as well as transfer fees. So they knew what they wanted, and they could afford to go out and get it, and they've got that. And they've probably got the last sort of jigsaw to their puzzle was the boy Kermigan, who plays up front, and he's got a great partnership with Graben, who plays up there as well. So no, for me it's not a surprise that they are where they are. Maybe if they'd have had that whole team right at the start of the season, then they might be a little bit higher. But we're there to spoil their party, and they're here to spoil ours. So we'll see what happens. But they're a very good team, and we can't take them lightly, and we've got to compete.
You mentioned on Tuesday that tactically, or in terms of style, they're very similar to Charlton.
As far as, with all due respect to Charlton, these have got a similar way of playing, but they've been playing it longer under Eddie Howe, and they're more used to it, and so therefore the reason why they've got 61 points is because they're good at what they do, but we've got to make sure that we don't see that. It was Charlton do play with the 2 centre halves splitting and a midfielder coming in, deep line midfielder, and wide men come inside and the full-backs bomb up the pitch, and then they play two up front that are working the two centre halves, and that's exactly how Charlton did it. Now, I believe that Bournemouth are better at it than Charlton, for the simple reason they've been doing it longer.
I'm sure you know the record against Bournemouth, in the sense that Yeovil are struggling for a win. I think 2007 the last time, and what a day this would be to overturn that.
Yeah, it'd be a great day, because we do need the 3 points. That's going to be vital, and we put that over to the boys, and the boys know that. And they're, as I say, as disappointed as anyone else when we get beat, but we have to tell them where they might have gone wrong, hope they improve, and now we're going out playing against the team once again that's got an opportunity of the playoffs for the Premiership. So we know it's going to be a difficult game, but we've got to hang on in there, be in the game, make sure that we're not the ones running around chasing them only. They've got to chase us a little bit as well, and that will take, as I said, a bit of commitment, a bit of desire, a bit of courage, a bit of quality to make sure that there's two teams in the game.
Best run of the season for you, 2 wins and 3 draws. You need that kind of run to the end from here, wouldn't you, or possibly even more than that?
Well, yeah, or 3 wins. I was just trying to work out, whether yours was the same as mine, and it was. Be nice, 2 wins and 3 draws, because that means you're undefeated at the end of the season. But you can't look too far ahead at the moment. You got to try and win your next game, and then assess it from there. And the one thing that's been our problem is we found it difficult with a small squad, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, getting 2 wins having the energy for the 2 wins on the bounce. Now, the minute we do that, whenever that comes, and if it came early, we'd still have a chance of getting ourselves out of trouble.
In terms of the geography, Yeovil and Bournemouth not that close together. Is there any rivalry between the two?
I think so. I think the rivalry is the supporters feel it's a local derby, as it were, and they went down to Bournemouth in force and gave us great support, and we didn't give them a game that day. We didn't give the supporters a game that day. They cheered us on, but in their numbers, and so we owe our supporters one, but we are up against a very, very good team.
You've got to try and find the spirit from the Blackpool performance, haven't you, really?
Yeah, I don't think that it's not necessarily just the spirit that's there. You see the boys go out of the dressing room and they could kill their grandmother, sort of thing. And then they
not really encourage them to do that.
No, of course not. But there's not a grandmother society that could put me up at the FA or something. But you know what I mean. We'll say kick them as a. That's even worse, isn't it? But they do go out competitive. And then it's just how the game goes, and who's got the ability, and who can tuck a goal in, and when it's needed, sort of thing, and who can stop a goal when it's needed to be stopped. So it's these lads have given everything to the club, and really we probably needed another 10 Championship players to add to our squad, so that we could rest people, bring people in, leave people out, that sort of thing. But we haven't been able to do that because it's. Our budget doesn't go for 20-odd Championship players in the squad.
I appreciate looking back doesn't do a lot of good, but if only you'd have been able to hold some of the winning positions that you've had, because you've been ahead a lot of times, haven't you?
Well, that's the nature of the league. If you look at any club, they've all lost games from winning positions. It's because teams at this level, maybe not as many as us, but certainly near enough, it's because teams at this level, when they're a goal down or they're behind, they've got the ability to step up when they need to, and there's some quality players in this league, and they can step up and they can raise their game, and they can be very dangerous when they throw people forward. They don't do it at the beginning of the games when they're 1-0 up or 2-0, whatever it is, but certainly if they're behind late on, there's enough ability in this league that they can cause you a problem when they decide to try and get that goal back. We've survived some, but we haven't survived others.
How are you injury-wise in terms of selection?
I'm all right, mate.
Good. Same question, same answer.
It's. I think we are okay. And thanks for asking. It's just yeah, I think we'll have pretty much the same group as we had that went to Charlton.
So full house to pick from, yeah.
Yeah, pretty near. Danny's got a slight little problem on his hip, and he was the only one that really didn't train today. So we'll just wait and see how he is, and then we'll pick a team accordingly.
Thank you. Do you think the players believe they can avoid relegation at this stage?
I hope so. You know, I really hope so. But what they've got to do is bring out their best game, and all I'm asking is for them to be their best. And if we get beat by top teams with us giving it everything, then you hold your hands up. It's when we don't quite get to our best, and we might have a couple of players feeling sorry for themselves on occasions. That's just human nature. But we've got to. There's no excuse for putting in 100% effort and trying to play to the plan, and understanding that the league we're in is a top league, and you have to respect it. And if you don't respect it and you start messing about with the ball, or you don't concentrate, you know, from a corner or a set play, then you're going to get punished.
It's going to be frustrating talking about players momentarily not concentrating when, for some of them, this is their best chance, isn't it?
Yeah, but it happens at every level. Every goal's a mistake or a lack of concentration. No matter, you know, where you are, it's just the better players make less mistakes and concentrate for longer. You know, every manager will say a goal's a bad goal. But yeah, at this moment in time, we've got 35 points in the Championship. We've got the opportunity of another 15 that we've got to really try hard to get. If it comes up for us, then we'll be okay. If we get 2 or 3 wins, then that will say whether we stay in this division or not. You know, other teams are picking up points. You know, Wigan have got their cup game, haven't they? So Millwall went there, and that was a good result for them. But I think Wigan rested a few because of the FA Cup. So you know, sometimes it works for you like that towards the end of the season, and still a long way to go, because we're going to play 3 teams that still feel they've got a chance of the playoffs: Blackburn, Brighton and Bournemouth. I don't think Huddersfield, maybe Middlesbrough might have, because they're on a good run at the moment, but by the time you play Brighton, they might be out of it. You don't know. You know, they might need our win to. The TV being there, they've obviously worked out that we could get relegated and they could get in the playoffs, sort of thing. You know, so we'll have to wait and see. And but every game's vital, and then there's a new story after that.
Okay, thank you.
Is that right? Thanks, Harry.
No problem. All right, at the back, wake up.
Also, it was mentioned about the record against Bournemouth. Are you a great believer that those records, or poor records, have had to go eventually?
I don't know about a great believer, but that's what you try. It don't make you try any harder. You know, sometimes the percentages, Lady Luck might be on your side, but it wasn't luck or bad luck that we got beat at Bournemouth last time. You know, so we mustn't leave anything to Lady Luck, if you like. If she turns up, then great, but we got to make sure that we're competing and earning any luck that we might gain. But you know, a disappointing thing for me is that we're certainly not getting any. We're not getting the run of the ball, whether that falls to us after hitting the post or whether it's an official's decision that they make at whatever point in the game. You know, we're not getting that. And I still say we don't get the 50-50s. I don't think anybody's biased, that's for sure. But I do feel that we don't get some of the decisions that we might have deserved.
Is that often the case, though, that if you're at the top of the league, they always seem to go for you? Whereas if you're at the wrong end of the league...
Yeah, it could be. That's where the Lady Luck comes in, I suppose, as well, you know, because you know, you earn your own luck because you're at the opposition end most of the game. Then, of course, you're going to earn some decisions, if you like, you know. But it's where we are, it does seem that you're fighting against it all the time. You know, it always seems to be against the odds, if you like. Does that make sense?
Definitely. So
against all odds.
Yeah. So we're still obviously looking for Lady Luck, who hasn't appeared yet really much this season.
She might have done a couple of times, but not as often as maybe we would have liked.
Yeah.
She's not a season ticket holder, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we could say that she's invited, but the fat lady can still.
Yeah, we don't want the fat lady.
Yeah.
Listen, we got to do our work, turn up, and give our best, and then we'll wait and see who turns up.
Yeah. I don't like to mention the R word. I like my friend.
What's the R word?
I'm not going to say it. But have you thought about it?
Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah.
That's where we are. We're in the relegation zone, and if as a club we get relegated, then we better be strong in the division lower, because we don't want to waste this year's experience, if you like. Now, we don't want to waste it if we stay in this division either, and the boys would have learned a little bit more. There's going to be quite a big turnaround anyway, whatever division we're in, because of the nature of our season. You couldn't guarantee players 3 times more than what we're paying them at the moment to stay with the club and sign a contract for 2 or 3 years. That don't happen nowadays. If they're championship players, there's a lot of people out there that can afford to give them treble, quadruple. What's 5? 5 or 6 times their salary here on. And people don't sign new contracts for 2 years when they're not sure what league the club's going to be in. I don't think that's affected how they played for us, because I think we got quite a genuine group, but it certainly plays a part in their thinking as to whether they're going to stay or not.
So during your interview earlier, you mentioned about the luxury of having 20 championship players in.
Yeah.
Quite often, I tend to look at, when the team sheets come out, I tend to look at see who they've got on the bench.
Yeah.
Rather than, which is like the big thing for me. You think,
well, what you want as a manager is a problem every week, where you want to play him and you want to play him, and you've got 20 players that you want to play. That's the problem you need if you want to be in the championship. And then if the boys are winning, you pick the same team and nobody worries about it. But if somebody lacks a bit of form or got a little knock, you know that you can put in somebody as good. That's the situation that the bigger, better clubs are always in. And obviously, we're at the bottom of the rung for numbers, if you like. And also, we've still got a lot of lads that are learning about this championship. They're still learning the game, not just about the championship. We've got some young lads that are still learning the game, and Keith and Moore, and they will get better as time goes on. But we're having to use them quite often to make up the team. Sam Hoskins, who we haven't seen the best, certainly the supporters haven't seen the best of, and yet we see him in training. We're saying he can only produce, the training that he does in games, but that's because he's young and it's inexperienced, and there's still Morgan and people like that, and there's still rules. They're all young lads. Tommy Lawrence, they're all young lads, and they're finding their way.
Because I think we said right at the start of the season, after the first couple of months, that the big difference between last season and this season is that last season the team more or less picked itself, didn't it? Whereas this season, and
also it's a level lower. So you can, it's a level that those lads obviously were comfortable in because you got promoted from it. But taking them to this level, which is a much bigger jump than say second to first, and it's a much bigger jump again going from Championship to Premiership. That's why the teams that are in touch with the playoffs have got to be really good teams, because they'll be the ones that are competing for a place in the Premiership, which is the best league in the world.
I think this is probably your first experience for our fight.
Yeah, no, not of an R fight.
Right.
Because obviously I went to Northampton when they were in trouble, and we managed to get them out of that. I went to Bristol City when they were bottom of the league, bottom of the first division, and we managed to get them. So I sort of know what's needed in a, I'll say it, relegation fight, and that's what we're in. But then you've still got to have the quality at that level to get out of it. Now, what we've got is a group that want to get out of it, and then it's just a matter of, in the end, are you good enough to get out of it or not? But we've at least got to give it a go to see whether we are.
What I was going to say is, obviously Skibbo